What's going on, everybody? Beast Guy here with
G.O.D.
And on today's show, we're going over the matchups. We're looking at sit starts every matchup of the first week of the NFL season. So, stay locked and loaded right here at the first four downs.
Drop the logo.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the first four downs. Beast Guy and G.O.D. here, and we're looking at the matchups, sit starts. You know, everything you're looking for going into week one of the NFL season. So, we just saw the Thursday Night Football game. Kansas City Chiefs destroyed the Houston Texans.
Embarrassing.
Absolutely. And honestly, Deshaun Watson, he was running for his life, don't get me wrong, but he also didn't look good. He missed a lot of deep passes. The Chiefs, Clyde Edwards-Helaire looked great, don't get me wrong. He struggled in the red zone a little bit.
He actually did.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And he busted off that good 30-yard run for the touchdown. He did look good. That's what we expected. Now, realistic.
When they start finding better defenses, I wonder what he's going to really look like in his whole season output. You know what I'm saying? What his production, what he could really do.
Yeah, of course. And you got to think. He saw a lot of 6 or less in the box. You know what I mean? Because of that spread offense. They were playing 2 deep safeties. You saw the drive in the second quarter, I want to say, where he had 5 or 6 runs just because of that. Just because of that factor. So, don't get me wrong, Chiefs. They didn't miss a beat at all.
Yeah,
they look just like the Super Bowl champions. Absolutely. So,
it's a good thing to end the season like that and open the season like that. You know what I mean? I kind of foreseen that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Niners gave it away, but that's okay. Chiefs won the Super Bowl. But we can move to the matchup. So before we get into today's content, don't forget, like the video, subscribe, hit the thumb, hit the bell, comment. Let us know how we're doing and any more stuff that you want to hear from us.
Yeah.
Of course. So we'll get into the first matchup of the video. That's going to be the Bears on the road against the Detroit Lions. And for me, I'm having a hard time finding a lot of starts in this game. You know, this is a tough spot where Allen Robinson absolutely should be a must start in your fantasy lineup. You drafted him as your wide receiver 2 or 3, more than likely, possibly your wide receiver 1. And he's playing a subpar secondary, so he should be great. Outside of that, David Montgomery. Yes, he practiced, but how much work is he actually going to get? Who knows? And on the Detroit side of the ball, Matthew Stafford. In my opinion, over the last 4 years since he's played, in all the games that he's played, the Chicago Bears has not thrown over 2 touchdowns. So, and Golladay might be gone. Yeah. So that hurts his fantasy value.
That's a big thing for the whole offense in general. I mean, any running back on this team, I don't want to start this week at all.
Yeah.
I don't like him at all. You know what I mean? You look at the over-under in this game, it's like pretty low. It's 42, you know what I'm saying, which the Lions are favored by 3 points. I don't see that happening in this game. I got Chicago in this game, and I feel like the Bears defense is going to be the Bears defense. And, just based on what they have on offense, the Detroit Lions, I just don't see them beating the Bears right now. You know, Mitchell Trubisky played pretty well against the Lions last year. You know what I'm saying? In his career, to be honest with you. You're looking at David Montgomery. That's a big question mark as well. Is he really playing? He was hurt all through camp.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? So with that groin injury, and any snap, he could re-injure that groin, depending on where it was, to be honest with you.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, in the sleeper in this game, I got Cordell Patterson possibly taking lows, just depending on if David Montgomery actually plays the game. For me, I got the money line on Chicago Bears this week on this game, but you look at sit starts, I will probably start Allen Robinson. You know what I mean? I think he's going to monster against these guys.
Yes.
You look at Detroit last year, they were bottom 6 in the league, you know what I'm saying, against wide receivers. So, I mean, that's something to look forward to when you're looking at a guy that you picked in the 3rd or 4th round, right there with Allen Robinson. I'm starting him all day in this matchup. You know what I mean? So
he in my opinion, arguably, Allen Robinson has the potential to be a top 5 receiver this week.
Yeah.
You know, he got 100+ yards and a touchdown. So, and that's almost surefire. I really think in the what this offense is going to do against the Detroit Lions.
What about Stafford? Would you consider like starting him this week?
Well, like I said, I was in between because he hasn't thrown more than 2 touchdowns against the Detroit Lions or against the Chicago Bears over the last 4 seasons. You know, he hasn't done it. So, I would be weary with Stafford with Golladay ailing. You don't know if Golladay is going to be healthy, and if so, he's probably going to be limited.
Yeah.
Marvin Jones should be okay. I think he's a better option in my opinion, especially if Galladay's out. Marvin Jones could be a flexible player.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. If you're starting him in your league this week 1, I mean, honestly, if you're looking for sleepers right now in week 1, you probably should not have drafted at all.
Absolutely.
But,
Or,
you know,
you're probably going to lose anyway.
Just game script. You know, Stafford is somebody that I would probably pick up. I think he'll probably hit multiple targets and, you know, get his production there. But that pass rush for the Chicago Bears is no joke. We already know that. So I'm looking at Hawkinson to probably have a decent game, not necessarily a great game.
Well, especially
I can
if
start him
Galladay's
there.
out.
Marvin Jones, that's a fringe flex spot that
Yep.
you could own in this game. I like Cordell Patterson a lot as a sleeper. Like I said, if Montgomery is like limited, whatsoever.
Yeah.
If not, I mean, that's why he's a sleeper.
Absolutely. We're both on the Bears.
Yeah.
And the Detroit Lions backfield, it's a mess kind of at the moment. So you can't really trust anybody in the backfield. Add an AP, carry on, and Swift's supposed to be active too. So who knows what's going to happen. But we move to the next matchup. We got the Colts on the road against the Jaguars. And the Colts improved on offense. Absolutely, Phillip Rivers. T.Y. Hilton's healthy. Added Jonathan Taylor. Going against the Jaguars team that was terrible against the run last season.
And they're going to be terrible against the run this year.
Of course. They sold everybody, and they're in a complete rebuild. So I definitely got Marlon Mack, even Marlon Mack and Jonathan Taylor, both as starts this week.
I can see that.
Absolutely. Phillip Rivers should have a pretty solid game. T.Y. Hilton also should have an okay game. Based on the stats over the last 3 seasons, I was weary about him against Jacksonville, but I also had to take into account Jacksonville had a lot better defense over the last 3 years than they do now.
Yeah.
No A.J. Bouye, no Jalen Ramsey.
Who's on that defense?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Who knows? So I got the Colts.
Yeah, I got the Colts too. They got a 45 over and under. They're favored by 8.5 points. Obviously, you look at the upgrade at quarterback, you know what I'm saying, over Jacoby Brissett. And Phillip Rivers absolutely torched them last year with 314 yards, 3 touchdowns, you know what I'm saying, the Jacksonville Jaguars, with a terrible offensive line with San Diego Chargers. Now, you go to the best offensive line in the game, and Quentin Nelson was questionable. He missed a practice this week, but he did practice in full. So, I mean, I think the Colts are going to roll. I would take that money line if you wanted to. I would take, you know what I'm saying, just the spread. I think they're gonna cover that easily. For Jacksonville, I don't know who to start here. I think about negative game script in this game. And honestly, you look at the running back situation. They just had Ozebo get placed on the IR. So I'm looking at Chris Thompson as a viable start in your flex this week. Gardner Minshew, just, you know, negative game script with Chark. Both of those guys are a start for me this week if you had to start those guys. So, yeah, you know what? I like those guys as far as fantasy is concerned, but I got the Colts all day, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's going to be a murder field.
Yeah, of course. The Colts, they're a pretty good football team overall. I think they're going to be even better this season. On the Jacksonville side of the football, absolutely, you're starting DJ Chark. Minshew, you could take a chance on him. He was actually pretty solid in fantasy. Not too bad, honestly. Pretty consistent.
My sleeper in this game is going to be Paris Campbell because we know he's running out of slot, and we know what, you know, the type of player that Keenan Allen is compared to T.Y. or Paris Campbell. Paris Campbell's he has that game-breaking type of speed. So running in that slot, it might be just dynamite.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said with Chris Thompson, I actually like him better over James Robinson. They got James Robinson slotted as a starting running back.
He's little. He runs me a Deion Lewis.
No, James Robinson's 5'9", over 200 pounds. He's not super small, but either way, he's still an early down back. In arguably going to be a negative game script, and the Colts are actually pretty good.
But against the Colts defense and Darius
That's
Leonard,
what I'm saying. The Colts actually are pretty good, honestly, against like the rushing yards.
Yeah.
But when it comes to receptions, they actually are surprisingly give up a lot, and so that's why I think Chris Thompson could be viable this week, especially early in the season. He's in the Jay Gruden offense. You know, Chris Thompson definitely a sleeper.
If he's on your waiver, go snatch him.
Yeah, absolutely, could be a sleeper. So we're on the Colts, of course. So we're moving to the next matchup. Packers on the road against the Vikings. Can you believe that the Vikings are favored?
I can't at all.
Well, the Vikings lost a lot of pieces on defense.
Yes.
They got a whole kind of restructured secondary. I mean, they got a couple safeties that returned, but their corners are new.
Yeah.
They lost a lot on the defensive line. Daniil Hunter is ruled out.
Yes.
Placed on IR. They add Ngakoue, but is he going to be ready to play?
No Everson Griffin. No Linval Joseph. I mean, you know, what is this team's DNA on defense? Is it the same defense that we've seen that's been very dominant in the past years? I don't know, and I don't want to gamble on it. You know what I'm saying?
Not on week one.
Yeah, I just see the Pack rolling in this game. I don't understand how they're
not favored.
The dog.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, how?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they got it at 44.5 you know what I'm saying, over and under.
Yep.
That's unreal to me. I think Aaron Jones is going to eat. He's obviously your start. The start of the week for this game, you know what I mean? I mean, the start of this game is probably going to be Aaron Rodgers. The start of this game is probably going to be Aaron Rodgers regardless. You know what I mean? My sleeper in this game, why I say Aaron Rodgers probably started, is Alan Lazard. You know what I mean? Even if you get the best coverage on Devontae Adams, Lazard is going to be there. He's hungry. He wants to eat. Rodgers been talking him up just like he talked up Devontae Adams in past years. So I like him a lot in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. I worry about the points overall. How many points the Packers are going to put up? I still think they're going to get the win against the Minnesota Vikings. Dalvin Cook, he should eat. Aaron Jones got 3 touchdowns on these Vikings just last season in one of his games. So, of course, you're starting Aaron Jones. No way you're not.
And I don't know what that Minnesota offense is going to do. They lost Stephon Diggs, you know what I mean? And he led the league in 20-plus touchdowns last year. So, I mean, that kind of game-breaking player, I mean, you don't have that. What is that going to do for Thielen? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is Justin Jefferson that guy? I really don't know. So, regardless, I got the Pack.
Yeah, of course. And honestly, sitting Kirk Cousins, it's going to be a tough spot for him. We don't know with the wide receiver core, like you were saying, with Justin Jefferson being a rookie.
Yeah.
Olabisi Johnson.
Yeah.
What is he going to do?
Don't know.
And Adam Thielen. I would start Adam Thielen if you got him. If you drafted him, you obviously drafted him as your wide receiver 1 or 2. There's no way you're sitting him.
Yeah.
So, we got the Packers. On to the next game. There's not much to talk about this game. Miami Dolphins. On the road against the Patriots, right? And don't get me wrong, Miami Dolphins, they are an improved football team.
I'll tell you what.
They
If
beat
you're
the
on a
Patriots
fringe
last
start
year.
for any of these players, your team's terrible.
Yeah,
Sorry.
absolutely. I'm
Yeah.
sitting all Dolphins. Devontae
Yeah.
Parker, even if he's healthy, is going to face Stephon Gilmore. There ain't no way I'm starting him against Stephon Gilmore, period.
Yeah.
Right? And I like Preston Williams, don't get me wrong. I have him on a couple of my fantasy teams. But it's still a tough matchup, and we don't know if he's going to be limited at best right now.
Yeah.
They're still saying he's not quite 100%. Jordan Howard, Matt Breida, you're rolling dice, period. If you're playing those guys, I'm sorry, you're probably going to lose your fantasy league.
It's
So,
a scary game to
Yeah.
even bank on if you want to win week 1. I mean,
exactly.
I'm not starting none of these players. I mean, realistically.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll turn to the Patriots.
Yeah.
They should win the game. They're at home.
7-point favorite.
Absolutely. Cam Newton is definitely a start for me in this game. If
Yeah.
you got to start him, 12-man league, something like that. I got no problem with it. I think Cam could perform. We still don't know what the DNA is going to be.
I think my sleeper in this game is going to be Neil Harry. You know what I'm saying? In that red zone, you look at the past production that he's had with wide receivers, wide receivers like that.
Yeah.
Devin Funches, Kelvin Benjamin. I think he just fits that kind of bill. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely think N'Keal Harry can find the end zone.
Yeah.
Julian Edelman. How much production is he going to have? I'm not so sure.
Yeah, I'm scared to say he's
You
a
know,
wide receiver too. Right
That's what
now,
I'm saying.
you
It's
know?
like in between. Last season, he was the wide receiver 10.
Yeah.
Finished out the season, but I don't know if he's going to see that much volume. So he's also limited in practice, but he's older. He's going to be limited. You know how the Patriots go. So
Yeah.
he'll be fine. I'm not so sure about Edelman. I can't really trust him. Even if you got to flex him, I get it. You know what I mean? No problem with that. Running back position, New England Patriots. Who knows? Sony Michel. That's what I'm saying. Sony Michel's going to be
ease Sony into the game.
That's what I'm saying. And they got Burkhead, James White, Damian Harris is obviously on the IR, but who knows what's going to happen? If I had to pick a running back, I would take a chance with James White.
If I had to pick a running back, I would pick Cam Newton.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair. But anyway, we got the Patriots rolling. So, on to the next game. Eagles on the road against the Washington Redskins. And this is a game that is pretty huge. You know, Philly, they're hurting, but Jalen Reagor should be healthy. They're saying he's good to go. Deshaun Jackson, big sleeper in this game.
He's good to go with a partially torn labrum.
Yeah,
shoulder.
basket catch, man. I saw the practices. He's basket catch. That's what I'm afraid of. He can't lift his arms above his head.
Yeah.
You know, so if that's the problem, it's a real problem. But Deshaun Jackson can still run really fast down the field. 150 yards last year, 2 touchdowns against these Redskins in the opening week.
Yeah, beast.
Definitely a sleeper in this game because if he's healthy, I don't see why you couldn't start him.
Yeah.
Carson Wentz, you got to start him if you drafted him. You draft him as a top 10 quarterback, you're starting him, and it's still a good spot. The Redskins secondary.
In our league right here, you know, I got Carson Wentz and Deshaun Jackson on my bench.
I got you.
You know what I mean? Just plug and play. But in this matchup, you know, we know that left tackle has been hurting a little bit, and we know Carson Wentz is already hurting right now. You know what I mean? So I don't like that at all, especially given the additions that Washington has had. I mean, they've had additions from the defense to the front offense. So this is a whole different football team.
Yeah.
I think this is a not necessarily winning football team. I think they're a better football team, and I honestly got Washington winning this whole game. You know what I mean?
The whole game.
Yeah, the whole game. You look at Miles Sanders. You know what I'm saying? He's supposed to be limited in this game as well. Yep. So, I mean, I just don't know what kind of output they're going to throw to Deshaun Jackson all game long, and it's going to be successful. I really don't know. Is Jalen Reagor really at full strength to where he can be effective? You look at Alshon Jeffrey, he's not there. Arcega-Whiteside, what can he really bring? You got Ertz that's not happy with the contract negotiations breakdown. Then the other guy, Goddard, he has a broken finger or something like that. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. But I got Washington winning this game. That front seven is no joke, considering the offensive line is a little bit banged up.
Yeah, you know,
I think they're gonna shock them.
I got the Eagles. I'm sorry, I can't pick the Washington Redskins yet. Or I'm sorry, the Washington football team.
Yeah,
I already jumped into
it's
it.
The football team, stop saying Redskins.
I know. Anyway, but starts in this game. Carson Wentz. I like Deshaun Jackson as a sleeper.
Of course.
Miles Sanders, if you drafted him, to be honest, this is still a pretty good spot for him to play, even in limited time. Now, be wary. He's not going to have 25 points. You know what I mean? And maybe he does. Maybe he shocks me. But he's more realistic, going to be limited on touches. He can still find you 10 fantasy points.
My starts in this game, I got Dwayne Haskins and Terry McLaurin. You look at that secondary last year, it was absolutely trash. They did get Darius Slay from Detroit, but I mean, Darius Slay, we seen in camp where Reagor and Hightower were just burning them. So, I mean, is he Stephon Gilmore or Jalen Ramsey? I wouldn't say he's that, but I'll say he's a pretty good corner cover.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They got other guys, Steve Sims. We talked about that. He could possibly be a sleeper in this game.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Antonio Gibson. We're going to finally get to see what that looked like. So, yeah, I'm you know what? I'm going to put my money out there, and I got Washington all day.
I worry about Gibson. I worry about the backfield Redskins. Who know? No, it's like a big question mark because there's no offseason, no preseason. We really don't know what the backfield's going to shape out to be. So I couldn't trust any of those running backs this week. But don't get me wrong, I wouldn't be surprised with one.
I would definitely be sitting J.D. McKissick.
Well, I mean, come on, yeah. They put him as the number one on the
I mean, he's never started anywhere.
Yeah, of course.
And, you know, he's not going to be a starter now.
No, of course not. So, anyway, we're split on that for sure. I got the Eagles. He's got the Redskins. We'll move on. We got the Oakland Raiders versus the Carolina Panthers on the road. And in this game, I can see Derek Carr having pretty solid production.
Yeah, I'm starting.
Josh Jacobs, probably going to be a running back between the 1 and 3. That's where I think he's going to finish this week.
I believe so, too.
It's that strong of a start for him. So, absolutely, Josh Jacobs is going to kill this week.
B. Scott, these Carolina Panthers have 9 new players on that defense. I just don't trust it. This whole DNA of this team is, I don't know what it is. It's a whole new team. There's no veteran leadership there whatsoever from the years prior, except for Christian McCaffrey, pretty much. Is Bradbury, you know what I'm saying? Like, none of these guys are there.
Yep.
So it's like, you know, I don't know exactly what they're going to do, but I know what the Raiders are going to do. They got this guy named Henry Ruggs, who's an excellent receiver, 4.2 speed. Even his routes is ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? I like him a lot in this game. He's a definite start for me. Josh Jacobs, like you said, man, I think the Raiders are going to blow him out. You know what I'm saying? 47.5 over and under, and the Raiders are favored by 3 points. It's I got the Raiders, period.
Yeah, absolutely. And on the Carolina Panthers side, Christian McCaffrey, we don't got to talk about him all year. Doesn't matter. DJ Moore, you're definitely starting him because you drafted him as your wide receiver 1 or 2.
Yep.
Outside of that, I'd be wary of any starts on the Carolina Panthers side.
Yeah, I'm sitting Bridgewater, period.
Yeah, I like Henry Ruggs in this matchup. Carolina Panthers giving up a lot of receptions to the wide receiver position. They don't give up that many touchdowns, but I think that was because the running backs just dominated him so hard on the ground, realistically. So, I like Henry Ruggs in this matchup. I'm not so sure with Brian Edwards. I play it by ear.
Yeah, I feel like he's more of a sleeper in this game because we just don't know. I mean, you know, you look in college, his highlights and everything like that, and he's dynamic and his separation is pretty good. But he was also 23 years old playing against 19-year-olds.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? He broke out pretty late. He broke out at the age of 22. So, I mean, you look at that. Those guys don't tend to be very productive in the NFL level.
Yeah, but we're still on the Las Vegas Raiders. They're winning the football game.
Yep.
So, on to the next game. Jets on the road against the Bills. This is a game.
Jets sucks.
I'm telling you. Absolutely. The Jets. I'm scared to start anybody on this roster. Jamison Crowder in 2 games last year against the Buffalo Bills. 28 targets. I want to say over 20 catches.
Do you see the over and under in this game? It's 39.5. It's ridiculous. Look, I have it on my notes. Sit all offense except for Jameson Crowder.
Right?
That's crazy.
Yeah, for the Jets. And that's even, for me, Le'Veon Bell. You know, a lot of people who still ended up drafting Le'Veon Bell as your running back 2 or a flex option.
Not in this game.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. I mean, last year you saw in volume he finished with 10 to 15 fantasy points, but
we know right now he's in a 60-40 split with Frank Gore.
absolutely, Frank Gore's still going to run the football.
Yeah.
So, I'm weary of Le'Veon Bell.
You know what I think? If Frank Gore's son is coming up right now, getting ready to go into college in the league.
Yeah.
I think he's going to back up his son. I really think so. You know what I'm saying?
That would be great.
It's crazy.
Yeah, first time in history. But on the Buffalo Bills side of the football, Josh Allen, you're going to start against the Jets. This defense, as good as it was last season, actually very underrated considering they were missing Mosley most of the year. Now you're missing Mosley again. No Josh Adams, which is huge. What's going to happen,
bro?
That's what I'm saying.
Just it is what it is.
Yeah.
What I like most about this, and you know, we finally get to see it. The first move in free agency that happened. We get the guy that led the league in 20-yard touchdowns, Stephon Diggs, with a guy like Josh Allen. That's what he does. That's the best thing he does besides running the football is throwing it down the field. So we get to see this. I think they're gonna hit early and often. After that, after the first quarter, second quarter, I think they'll be up, and that defense is very dominant. You know what I mean? So I think, you know, in the second half, you might see a lot more John Brown, the underneath, Cole Beasley, maybe Darwin Knox. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't necessarily start those guys, though. You know what I mean? But my starts in this game, obviously, Josh Allen. Obviously, Stephon Diggs. Yep. I would start Singletary in this game, honestly. You know what I'm saying? I think it's going to be that old school thing where they get up in points pretty fast and then eat the clock up. You know what I mean? So I'm not starting Zach Moss in this game at all.
Just question mark. We don't know.
Yeah. For the Jets, Crowder, that's it.
Yep, of course. And we're both on the Bills. There's no way. I mean, don't get me wrong. If the Jets beat the Bills, it'd be a huge surprise because there ain't no way.
And if you think about starting Bashard Breeland, I mean, he's ready to go, but we don't know what that's going to be. In camp, they ain't really connected. Denzel Mims was set to go, but he also just suffered another hamstring.
Yep.
A whole different injury. So it's like, I don't trust that either. I'll be sitting those guys as well.
Absolutely. We're all on the Buffalo Bills. We're on the wagon. So, next matchup, Browns versus Ravens. Last season, Browns got the best of the Ravens and honestly punched them in the mouth and beat them 1 week. You know, so in this matchup, Ravens at home, going into week 1, it should be an easy win, in my opinion. And the Browns are a lot better football team, in my opinion. They got better on the offensive line. They added Austin Hooper at the tight end position.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Both the receivers should be healthy in theory. They extended Kareem Hunt in the offseason, just recently in training camp. So they got strong players at all positions. They have a good football team. The problem is, it's the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah.
They're not going to be able to stop that rush attack, period. Lamar Jackson, MVP. I'm going with the Ravens.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm firing up the big four for the Baltimore, period. I wouldn't really reach for Dobbins, don't get me wrong. Dobbins could be viable, but I'm not taking a chance week 1.
Yeah, that's my sleeper in this. I'm going to do this like this. Lamar Jackson, Hollywood, Mark Andrews, Odell, Nick Chubb. That's who you're starting. Everybody else you're sitting. Baltimore wins this game hands down.
Yeah. Ingram. You forgot Ingram.
I mean, yeah, Ingram. You can start Ingram.
Yeah, of course.
But I think it's just going to be like a lot of split. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think a lot of people are going to get a lot of carries. You know what I mean? That's why Dobbins is a sleeper.
Yeah, of course. I would still take Ingram if
you
have him as your RB2.
You know what? Yeah, I'll still start Ingram.
And Baltimore defense. But we're on Baltimore. That's a pretty easy one.
Yep.
Here's a tough one. Seattle Seahawks.
I don't want no parts of this.
On the road.
I don't want no parts of this.
On the road against the Atlanta Falcons. And this is a tough game because you got two very similar teams. And I think Atlanta was underrated even last season at 7-9. They're still a top 5, top 7 offense. Their defense really struggled to begin the year.
Yeah.
Really picked it up on the back half when you saw it. They were starting to win football games. Now, you come into this season, you add Todd Gurley to that offense. I'm picking the Seahawks to win because I think Atlanta's going to do enough to win, and they're going to lose to the Seahawks, in my opinion. So, it starts in this game. Seattle, starting Russell Wilson, of course. You're starting Carson Wentz. DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, both should be just fine to be starters. On the flip side, Todd Gurley should eat in this game. Seattle Seahawks giving up what, second most rushing touchdowns in 2019, right? They didn't do much of the offense or the defensive line to help that, and they lost Jadeveon Clowney.
Yeah.
So I think Gurley's going to be huge in this game, especially week one.
That's why I'm scared to even try to pick a team. You know what? I know Seattle, they struggle on the road a lot. You know what I mean? You look at this line, the over and under 48.5 on this game. So there's going to be a lot. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of explosion here. You know what? I'm starting Julio, of course. I'm starting Matt Ryan. I'm starting Tyler Gurley. I'm starting Hayden Hurst. I'm starting flexible. I'm starting Calvin Ridley.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? On the Seahawks side of the ball, of course I'm starting Russ, Carson. I mean, the Falcons defense, I mean, they weren't nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They
Horrible
started picking up at the last of the year.
Yeah.
They ended up going 4 and out. You know what I'm saying? They won 4 games out. You know what I mean? They're a pretty good football team. It's crazy, man. Like, I don't even want to pick up somebody who's going to win this. Like, all right, I'm taking the Falcons at home. Shocked the Seahawks.
Okay. I'm not surprised with that. I just like the Seahawks because they
You got any sits in this game?
I would worry about the tight end for Seattle, Greg Olsen.
Okay.
In particular. I'm not really sure how he's going to fit into the offense and how it's going to work. Also, their other tight ends, I'm pretty sure, are healthy, I think. Disley, I think, is healthy. So I don't know what's going to happen in the tight end position. But I'm still going with the Seahawks.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be one to see if you got it on your regional stations.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, go try to watch this one. It's going to be explosive. I mean, Todd Gurley, that dynamic going to the Falcons, man, this is a must watch.
Gurley should feast, and honestly, I could see Gurley being in that 5 to 10 range this week, finishing at the running back position. I really could against Seattle. If they're going to win the football game, I think it starts with Todd Gurley. And you know their passing attack's going to be there. I mean, Julio, Calvin Ridley, all that. So now moving on to the 1 o'clock games, right? We got the Chargers on the road against the Bengals.
Yes. Joe Burrow, your number 1 pick.
Of course. And it's the first time you're going to see the Los Angeles Chargers without Phillip Rivers under the helm. It's going to be different.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Kind of like Tom Brady in the next couple games. But Chargers against the Bengals. I think the Chargers win. They just have a better overall football team, a better defense. And in this game, Austin Eckler, surefire, you're going to start him.
Yeah, period.
I do like Keenan Allen. Now, Mike Williams coming in questionable. I actually would like Mike Williams with Tyrod Taylor, personally better.
If he was healthy.
Absolutely.
You know
I think I would like Mike Williams better. But if Mike Williams is limited or can't go.
Sneakily, like, I like Mike Williams long-term throughout the season.
In that offense?
Over than Keenan Allen, yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I just don't know why.
It's the way Tyrod Taylor plays.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And then Herbert is like, that guy sees ghosts on the field.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
He's probably not even going to be ready to play at all this year. Tyrod, as long as Tyrod consistently plays well, I think he'll be the starter at least throughout most of the season.
Right,
so, obviously, Eckler, if you drafted Hunter Henry, you're going to start him. You know what I mean? There's no way to sit him. On the Bengals side of the ball, I like Mixon to start in this game, even though that the defensive line is tough for the Chargers.
But 20+ touches.
That's what I'm saying. I'm going to start Mixon. If they're going to have a chance, they got to establish the run. Period. So I like Mixon in the start. Outside of Mixon, I don't really know if I like any pass catchers. I like Tyler Boyd overall.
Yeah, but he's seeing a lot of Harris Jr.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The best slot corner in the game. So
of course.
Like, initially I was like, you know what? I'm starting Tyler Boyd, period. Yeah. But then I realized Chris Harris Jr. is on that team. So I'm like, oh my God. There's no way I can start Tyler Boyd. I can't tell you guys, like, you know what I'm saying, wholeheartedly, like, start Tyler Boyd, put him in your lineup, because that would be, like, just false.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. I mean, if you got to roll with Boyd in the flex, I would honestly look probably for some better options. Because more than likely you drafted Boyd as a flex, hopefully.
Yeah.
So, I got the Chargers winning the football game.
Yeah, me too. I mean, you know what? It's a 41.5 over and under. I got the Chargers. They're favored by 3 points on the road. I mean, that defense is going to be great. You know what I'm saying? I feel like they're the most undervalued defense in the league right now. And they're less than 50% owned. And if you got them, you should go pick them up. I mean, Burrow's a great player, don't get me wrong. He's going to throw a lot in this football game, but that defense is no joke. So
yeah, they got great corners.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. I could see Burrow with like 280 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like that's not good enough to start in 10-12.
I mean, Linville Joseph, you got Melvin Ingram, Joey Bosa rushing on the ball. It's going to be hard for him.
Yeah, absolutely. So, We both got the Chargers, obviously.
Yeah.
We'll move. 49ers.
Oh my gosh. These next two games is just so hard for me.
Yeah. Cardinals. On the
Yeah.
road against 49ers. I can't stray away from the 49ers. The defense is too legit. They are lacking a lot of pass catchers on the offense,
But they all hurting.
They are.
Debo's already ruled out.
Absolutely.
Ayuk is still questionable. After that, it's like Bourne. Like,
Yeah, but this is my thing. You got the Arizona Cardinals defense.
okay.
They did draft some players, but not even close. They were by far the worst team last year on defense against tight end position. You got George Kittle. I get it, but one player don't make a difference.
That's
Not
true.
that big.
That's weird.
George Kittle, yes, he's been hampered with a hamstring a little bit, but he's going to go. There's no way around it. And don't forget, you got Jordan Reed. He's going to be active in this game. Tight ends destroyed the Arizona Cardinals last year, 16 touchdowns. But I think the next team on the list had 8 or 9 touchdowns given up to the tight end position.
Really
That's how big it was difference. So I still think they're going to be able to run the football. Raheem Mostert, absolute start. Even though you don't know, because it's Shanahan. He's going to ride the hot hand. Hopefully not, but Raheem Mostert should be good in this game. Any other pass catchers outside of Kittle, I wouldn't take a chance on, but I still think the 49ers get it done. Arizona side of the football, they're going against a tough defense.
Yeah.
49ers top 3 defense, period.
Yeah.
Arguably probably probably the best overall defense, not necessarily for fantasy, but as an actual football team.
I really do think they have the best defense, and that's why it's so hard for me to just pick one. If I was in Vegas and I was betting, you look at the over and under, it's 48 points even. You know what I'm saying? San Francisco favored by 7. You know what? I don't like it at all. So I'm just going to take the Niners at home. I feel like they can win this game. I think the defense is going to win this game for them. But exciting to see. I want to see what Kyler Murray does with Hopkins. You know what I'm saying? This is something that was just a polarizing trade this year. So, you know what I mean? Let's see what happens with that. So obviously starting Kyler Murray, period. Just his rushing upside is there.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Against the Niners, we don't know what that rushing upside is going to be. But,
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He has that there with Hopkins. I'm starting Hopkins. I'm starting Mostert all day long. He's going to eat. I'm starting Kenyon Drake, period. Other than that, I don't know. Sleeper, probably Kurt.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
possibly. But
Yeah.
outside of that, we're on the Niners.
Niners, period.
It should be a good football game
Yep.
overall. So, last game of the afternoon, Bucks, Saints. This should be the game of the week. This could be the game of the year, honestly. It could
First
have
one.
a 100 point score.
We get to see it again.
Yeah, of course. So, Buccaneers, Saints. You got two subpar defenses. Still good, but not ridiculous. Not on the top echelon.
They're pretty good scoring defenses.
They are, but
Very
I'm saying,
good run defenses.
Yeah. Oh, Buccaneers out of sight.
Yeah.
But in this game, I got to take the Saints. And on the Buccaneers side of the ball, Mike Evans, my boy.
Yeah.
He's already
Very
hurt.
questionable.
He's doubtful.
Yeah.
I already told you in the previous video that they were saying he was game time decision on Wednesday at practice. You know what that tells me? He ain't going to play.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Plain and simple. It's just not going to happen. So, Chris Godwin should see an uptick. They got some other guys, other receivers. Don't get me wrong, but you're going to see a lot of the tight ends. Chris Godwin's going to see a lot of work anyway. Leonard Fournette, what kind of impact can he make in this game?
Yeah.
Could be
Bruce
huge.
Arians already saying he's going to have a role. I really like this matchup, period. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be one to watch. They also have a 48 over and under. New Orleans is only favored by a field goal. So there's a lot of explosion there. You got the number 1 receiver, Michael Thomas. We like that connection. We get to see the addition of Emmanuel Sanders.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So Fournette, we get to see all this shit. Brady. Did we forget about TB12?
I'm telling you.
So, yeah, this is going to be one to watch. Early on, I had the Saints winning this game, period. So, when the schedule came out, we talked about it. It was like, dude, it's week 1 and we see this happen. So,
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? It's going to be a good one. I'm watching this one, period. I got the Saints, though, at home.
Yeah, of course. And Mike Evans, that hurts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, in this game, you're starting Tom Brady. You're starting Chris Godwin. Running backs for Tampa Bay, I'm not so sure who you're going to start. If you're going to start one,
I'm going to start a goal line, and I'm going to say I'm going to start Leonard Fournette.
okay. But if you are, hopefully he's your flex option.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you have to. So, tight end position, you're starting Gronk. Who knows what's going to happen with O.J. Howard and Kenyon Drake?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That mix and how that's going to work out. on the same side of the ball. You're not sitting down with Kamara, you draft him in the first round. It is a tough matchup, but he makes a lot of plays in the pass game.
Yeah.
So he could still be effective. Michael Thomas, first round pick. Drew Brees, you're going to play him. You know what I mean? Emmanuel Sanders, to me, I'm not so sure if I'm going to just jump on it and be like, oh, I'm going to start him this week. It is a high over-under in points, but you don't know if Emmanuel Sanders is going to make a big splash or not.
Yeah.
And tight end position, Jared Cook. He could be okay.
I don't like Jared Cook at all.
That's fine. You don't have to like him.
Because he never cooks.
No, you never know that. He could be cooking in the kitchen right now.
Yeah,
but anyway, Jared Cook, if you drafted him, you're more than likely starting him. So outside of that, I probably wouldn't start any of these defenses, but all it takes is one play on defense. So honestly, you could start both defenses.
Yeah.
So we got the Saints. We can move to the Sunday night football game.
To the biggest over and under of the week.
Absolutely. Cowboys on the road against the Los Angeles Rams. This could be just a whole lot of points. And I thought the Cowboys defense would be a little bit better. Don't get me wrong, they had a lot of pieces, but Gerald McCoy in the offseason, he got hurt, got cut.
Off, right?
That's what I'm saying.
It's crazy. Secondary ceiling shit.
Yeah.
Looking at this game, I think it's going to be a whole aerial battle. You lose Todd Gurley on his team. You lose Brandon Cooks on his team. They're going to throw the ball. Cooper Kupp's going to be in that slot. You got Robert Woods. These are guys I'm starting. I'm starting Goff. I'm starting Cooper Kupp. I'm starting Robert Woods. I'm sitting every running back in that offense, period, until one breaks out and emerges. Right now, the starting running back on that team is Malcolm Sucks Brown. That's his middle name.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I just don't like it at all. And on the other side, of course you're starting Ezekiel Elliott.
Yep.
Top 5 running back every single year. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
I am starting Michael Gallup, number one in this game, as Dallas's wide receivers. I'm starting Dak, obviously.
Yep.
I'm sorry, I'm sitting Amari Cooper this year.
This week?
Well, you can say year two this week.
Yeah, probably.
He's going to be his Jalen Ramsey. So, he's going to shadow him all over the field. And, we said that last year. You know what I'm saying? You had Peters and Talib back there. They were both stationed there, and they couldn't do certain things. And people the teams were able to manipulate them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, they went and traded for Jalen Ramsey. And you look at a slot receiver like Amari Cooper, the way he lines up all across the field, he's going to shadow him everywhere.
Yeah.
So I like Gallup the most. And honestly, my sleeper of this whole game is CeeDee Lamb. We finally get to see that that 88 in progress.
Yeah.
Let's see what it do.
Absolutely. I'm on the same boat. Cooper against Jalen Ramsey. I don't really like it. We already know Cooper performs in only half his games anyway. That's where a lot of production comes from.
Yeah.
This isn't one of them. You know what I mean? It just isn't. So I personally would be sitting Cooper, but I get it. You drafted Cooper as possibly your number one receiver. If you got to roll him out there, I understand, but you're probably losing this week. He could lose your game. Don't get me wrong. So I still am going to go with the Cowboys on the road. They got a better overall football team. And the Rams, Sean McVay, 3-0 in openers. As the head coach of the Rams, but
they're opening the whole stadium right now, so I feel like the pressure is going to be on Goff's back a lot. They're going to throw this football because honestly, you can't trust the running backs in this game.
And the line,
it's
a million years old.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So
exactly 1 million almost.
Yeah, of course. So we're on the Cowboys.
Yeah,
we're kind of on the same boat. We'll move to Monday Night Football games. We got 2 more games. Steelers on the road against the Giants. Steelers should win the football game, but the Steelers have played terrible on the road for probably the last 3 seasons. Ben Roethlisberger's first game in, a year and a half?
That's very true.
You know what I mean? So
Roethlisberger only plays good at home.
I could see the Giants pulling out this win. Now, I'm still going to go with the Steelers. I would start Roethlisberger in this game, I think. Personally, you're going to start James Conner, obviously. I know you hate Juju. I understand. But I would be starting him if you had him. Obviously, you drafted him as your wide receiver 1 or 2. So I'm okay with Juju Smith-Schuster in this game. And Ebron. This is another guy I really want to see what's going to happen in this offense because Ben Roethlisberger's never really produced a great tight end. He's never given up that many touchdowns passing, anyway, to the tight end position. Ebron can line up all over the field. We know his hands are suspect, but we know he can score some touchdowns too.
You know what we also know? That if you sneeze on Daniel Jones, he's going to fumble the football.
Yeah.
I'm taking Pittsburgh, and I think that defense is going to win this game for him. They're favored by 6 points, and that's the bet I'm taking. Pittsburgh by 6. We got a second slate at the tight end. We got a second slate on the Monday Night Football. That's Titans going up the Mile High to see the Broncos. What you got on that?
Tennessee Titans. They're going to win. Denver Broncos. They added Jerry Jeudy. It's great, but they just lost Von Miller. Huge impact for that defense, especially. And they did lose Chris Harris Jr. They added A.J. Bouye, don't get me wrong, but Chris Harris, you know what I mean? They added some pieces, but still, there's a couple impactful players that aren't there like they were the year before.
Yeah.
You got Tennessee Titans, who are running hot still. Coming off last season, they did lose in the playoffs, don't get me wrong, to the Super Bowl Kansas City Chiefs. But Derrick Henry, are they going to be able to stop him from running the football?
No.
A.J. Brown, he's only 2 plays away from 120 yards and a touchdown. You know what I mean? That's all it takes. So, I like the Tennessee Titans. Denver Broncos side of the football. Courtland Sutton, he got hurt. Huge impact.
Sprained AC joint.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong.
Luckily, it was like just that.
That's
you
what
know
I'm saying.
Because, I mean, news was it was like big.
Yeah. Absolutely. Hey, when you go for an MRI, that's all it takes. So, I am not sure what I'm going to start on the Denver Broncos side of the football. If you drafted Melvin Gordon, okay, I get it. Tennessee Titans defense.
He's in a split.
It's above average, but I would still probably take him. You know, he is practicing in full this week. They were worried about the rib injury and if it was even a thing, but I can't really trust much on that offense going into week 1 against the Tennessee Titans. And I like A.J. Brown on the start. Honestly, I think Ryan Tannehill, all it takes is a couple plays for him, like you said, with A.J. Brown to make an impact in fantasy. So he's definitely a viable start if you have to. But Tennessee Titans should win the football game.
Yeah, I'm starting Tannehill. I'm starting A.J. Brown. Henry, I think that's how they're going to win it. They're going to dictate this game by, you know what I'm saying, just running the football up the middle, period. Yep. And AJ's going to be there for those dumbbells because you can't stack. You cannot not stack on Henry.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? So that's why he's there.
Wait a minute. You're telling me you can't put 6 in the box like Clyde Edwards-Helaire all Thursday night? You know what I mean? Just 6 in the box.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Derrick Henry had 500 yards.
On the flip side of the ball, I only like Noah Fant in this game. You know what I mean? I think that's going to be the most consistent targets there. Maybe Jerry Jeudy. We don't know yet. You know what I mean? If Courtland Sutton does not go. So I just think the Broncos are going to lose this game. I got him, period. Tennessee's favored by three points on a 41 over and under. Man, I got the Titans.
Yep. So we're all on the Titans.
Yeah.
That wraps up the matchups for the week.
Yeah.
Our sit starts in the game. So for the first 4 downs, it's been B. Scott,
G.O.D.
and we out.